Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to do a recap of Season 2 of the anime series called Scissor 7. Our main Her 7, a scissor-wielding assassin, who runs a barber shop on Chicken Island as a disguise, is still on the quest to reconnect to his past and gain his memories, after the aborted Stan invasion and Prince Stan's defeat by 7 on Chicken Island. Word spreads and now assassins from the Killers League start targeting 7 and other strong martial artists on the island to invade it. Furthermore, 13's master is personally interested in killing 7. A trendy new barbershop opens up on Chicken Island run by 3 stylish barbers who utilize their chi to give extravagant haircuts. 7 infiltrates the barbershop, disguised as a lamppost to sabotage, and uses his chi scissors to cut the head barber's hair. This leads to him being chased by the barber trio. Later, Hidachun warns 7 of 4 assassins, each with a bounty on their head that are after him, and shows him their wanted poster. Speaking on behalf of 7, Daibo accepts the new request from Dachun. Hence, Daibo introduces his newest invention, Hair Wax No. 7. It is a container of hair wax with a secret compartment that contains a lethal dart shaped like the Chinese character for 7. The dart is released when the user flips a switch on the side of the hair wax container. Afterward, 7 is confronted by one of the assassins, Fa the Gambler, at the Big Chicken Snacks restaurant and 2 other assassins, Shu Daliuan, and Normal Assassin after that, and defeats them. 7 sees Uncle Chen wincing in pain on the ground as Cola is confronted by Spring Wind Ichiro. 7 intervenes using his chi scissors and asks that Cola take Uncle Chen to the Miracle Doctor. 7 faces off against Ichiro and defeat him. Ichiro asks who 7 is and he answers that he's T-Barber on the island. Not unhappy that he lost, instead, Ichiro thinks that he could use a haircut. Back at his barbershop, Miracle Doctor successfully operated to extract Uncle Chen's kidney stone. Just then, the new barbers in town tried to challenge 7 to a duel, but 13 interrupts them and warns 7 of more assassins on the way. Ichiro visits 7's barbershop and details that he now works at the Share Fun Mart and he wants to strike up a conversation with a girl that's a regular customer there. Hence, 7 gives Ichiro a giant flat and circular haircut. 13, ordered by her master to kill 7, chases him across the island, causing hell and havoc in their trails. The chase ends in a playground where 13 recalls the day she's recognized by her master as his disciple, who gives 13 her signature weapons and a creed to follow. He also taught her that emotions are an assassin's worst enemy. 7 challenges 13 to a duel where if she wins he will leave the island, and if he wins he will get her magic swords and she has to go on a beach date with him. The duel proceeds, only to be interrupted by another assassin known as Plum Blossom 11, who is 13's older sister. Failing her own assassination attempt, 11 escapes, and 13 concedes defeat. 13 gives 7 a scroll that has bounties for Daibo, Mad Bark, Chairman Zhang, Hidachun, and Meow Kitty. 7 asks why she wants him to assassinate them and 13 details what those involved in the Swanwu do and her goal there. 13 confirms this and reveals to 7 that since she failed her mission to kill him, more bounty hunters will infiltrate the island to kill him and the other bounties on the list. Jumping on her large bird, 13 flees the scene, leaving 7 to ponder what he'll wear for their beach trip. Eventually, Ichiro uses his new hairstyle to cover the girl he likes from the rain and offers to walk her home. Bashfully, the girl accepts and Ichiro is elated by the response, praising 7 for the haircut he gave him. A glasses-wearing dog armed with a guitar infiltrates Mad Bark's area and takes out most of the guards. The intruder is soon confronted by Mad and his men. The following day, Mad awakens on a bed in 7's barbershop surrounded by Meow, Daibo, Miracle Doctor, and 7. Mad details his encounter with the guitar-wielding assassin dog and how his sad song played on the guitar defeated him. They set a trap for him. The assassin tries to kill Mad, only to be stopped by Meow, who recognizes him as someone named Meow Kai. Kai then confesses his love for Meow but felt rejected when she chose Mad instead of him. He ended up in Zuwin instead, where he was taught the way of the deadly melody style magical sound of sadness. He did all this to prove himself to Meow, but still, she rejects him. The following day, Kai leaves the island and 7 reveals to Daibo that he traded his hair wax for a map of Swanwu. However, Daibo berates 7 for the trade he made, claiming how expensive the wax is. Cola pays Daibo money to order 7 to hang out with her for the day. During their excursion, 7 asks if the Miracle Doctor was able to cure her cancer. However, she reveals that he wasn't. 7 and Cola get separated when 7 gets attacked by an assassin lizard. Cola encounters the Prince of Stan, who retrieves the missing machine that he lost from his previous fight with 7. She coerces him to take her to Stan and the prince agrees. There it is revealed that Cola is a test subject. Afterward, the prince reveals that her mother Zhang Jiwen was a scientific researcher from Stan and offers to cure her cancer if she agrees to stay in Stan. However, she flatly refuses and takes a plane back to Chicken Island. She regroups with 7 and they ride down the highway on his motorbike with Lizard in tow. They were being watched by the Prince and Minister of Stan. The Prince admits his envy of how carefree 7 and Kola are. 13 gets 7's old sword appraised by a blacksmith who reveals the sword's true name, the Thousand Demon Daggers, and its backstory. Jack and his mates Ah Jia and Ah Jun take Daibo hostage to take revenge on 7 for the scar he gave him. Jack reveals that even though 7 was able to beat the Prince of Stan, he still hasn't recovered any of his memories. 13 then appears at the scene and shields 7, warning Jack that she'll kill him if he tries to attack 7. Seeing the Thousand Demon Daggers in her possession, Jack tries to steal it from 13. It's at that moment that 7 reverts to his old self and rescues 13 while slicing Jack's hair in the process. Distraught over having his hair sliced, Jack flees with his companions. Afterward, 7 meets with 13 to give her the bathing suit for their beachside date. Daibo's thought to be deceased nemesis, King Pheasant, now a cyborg, kidnaps 7 and Xiao Fei. They fight, but King Pheasant bests Daibo. From Daibo's confession, he reveals that although he did once resent humans, it was 7 that changed his perspective on them. King Pheasant tries to kill Daibo but is stopped by 7 and Xiao Fei. Right when the two were about to dismantle King Pheasant, Daibo stops them and claims they should leave him be and go on their way. Back at the barbershop, 7 tends to Daibo's injuries, and when asked if he heard what he said about 7 earlier, 7 confesses that he's had flashbacks of who he was and like in the past. He's content with the life that he's living now and also thanks Daibo for saving him. 13 accepts 7's beach proposal and wants to meet him that night at 8 p.m. at the beach. 7 meets 13 at the beach, but she is revealed to be 11, who attacks him with a dagger and he becomes nearly incapacitated due to the poison from the dagger he was stabbed with. Dachun interrupts them as 11 is about to end 7, the two then skirmish. 7 manages to squelch the poison from his body, 11 tries to escape, but Chairman Zhang uses Qi to stop her. 13 arrives at the beach. 7 gets his clothes back on and once again tries to give 13 the black rose. She strips 7 of his clothes and flees the scene with 11. Later in a secluded forest area, 13 tries to reason with 11, but she refuses to listen to her sister's admonishment. The two are then attacked by a silhouetted individual. Many years earlier, Qing Feng assassinates the Iron-Handed Dragon King. After crossing out his name off of his list, Qing Feng regroups with a young 13. An emissary from the Shadow Killers approaches them and offers him a position in their ranks. At age 21, Qing, now known as Blue Phoenix, becomes part of the Shadow Killers, and soon afterward, the leader introduces a prodigy into their ranks. He would be later known as 7. One of the other ranked members of the Shadow Killers named Red Tooth confronts 7 in a alleyway and tries to get 7 to duel with him. Just before Red Tooth could make a move against 7, Qing intervenes, putting an end to the battle. Red Tooth downplays the fight as a mere hazing act and welcomes 7 to the organization and leaves the scene. Qing then advises 7 that he should get a better sword, and 7 asks what's the best sword in existence. Qing tells him about Thousand Demon Daggers and its location. At present, Chairman Zhang is visited by Red Tooth in her home, and after a brief chat with each other, they fight, informing Zhang that she has a high bounty on her head, but also noting that he has no intention of collecting the bounty on her head. Red Tooth instead wants her to remove the seal placed on him. However, Zhang denies the request, and so, Red Tooth restrains her and tries to bite her with his fangs, but 7 stops him by using Dachun's ironclad skin and proceeds to use Dachun as an indestructible sword against Red Tooth. Red Tooth attacks Dachun in his weak point and drains him of his chi. Without Dachun's help, 7 struggles to fight against Red Tooth. Left with no other alternative, Zhang advises she use her special chi transferring technique from 7 so she can face Red Tooth. Zhang, thanks to the chi transfer, manages to regain her youth and can fight toe-to-toe against her opponent. A flashback of when both Red Tooth and Zhang were part of the White Lotus clan is shown, where Zhang was chosen to be the successor of the clan. This would lead Red Tooth to merge with a demon and slaughter most of the clan members. Red Tooth attacks Daibo, Xiao Fei, and 7 in relation. He bites 7 and finds he has limitless energy. He then threatens to drain him out if Zhang doesn't remove the seal, preventing him from using his full power. As Red Tooth strangles him, 7 retreats into his mind to confront his past self. He wishes he could forget his previous life and starts over, but finally accept his past caught up with him. After this realization, he starts to fight back against Red Tooth. Blue Phoenix arrives to seize the opportunity to intervene. He gives 7 his sword back and creates a barrier preventing anyone except himself from interrupting or witnessing 7 and Red Tooth's duel. But as 7 is not on his past level, Blue Phoenix is forced to kill Red Tooth. Goads 7 into returning to Swanwu, implying as long as 7 stays on Chicken Island, the attacks will never stop. As Blue Phoenix removes the barrier, other witnesses think 7 killed Red Tooth. In the following days, other assassins come to Chicken Island in order to fight the strong barber rumored to have killed Red Tooth. One of them recognizes 7 as he's leaving town, and 7 tells him to pass on the message that he's coming back to take the leader's head. And that's all for today, guys. If you like the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing.